Growing up in Rwanda, early years were good in the community, in the neighborhood. We would visit and have fun, share meals. When I was 7.5 years old, everything changed. In Rwanda, we have tribes. We have Hutu and Tutsi. Hutus are the majority, and Tutsis are the minority. I was a Tutsi. It was chaos to the point we felt like our safe place to go to was a church, which I attended, me and my grandmother and many members of our family. When we got there, killers came inside the church and started to kill everybody. Kids, old people, young people. That's when I lost my grandmother. My grandmother was hit by a grenade in front of me. After she was hit by a grenade, that's when I ran for my life, and the genocide started from there for about 100 days. After 100 days, we struggled every day to make a living. Many of us were traumatized. The life I had to go through during that time was even worse than the genocide. I lived in oppression, was abused, neglected, and things were bad. Couldn't find a person I would go to and say, help me, save my life. Around the time I was 14, I happened to go and live with my uncle, who was very, very nice, and his wife. They gave me opportunity that I did not get anywhere else. I was able to go to school, and my athletic ability went up. My grades were very high, and by God's grace, I finished with a presidential scholarship, and at the same time, I was able to join the national team, and it was about that same time I received a call from the Abilene Christian University to come and join their track and field program, and at the same time go to school. Coming in America was like any international student. You get a culture shock, you're trying to figure out everything. But I happened to be in a good place, good school, and a friend of mine brought me at Southern Hills Church of Christ. I became a member, and from there I met family members of the church, and we got connected, and just from there my hope and my faith came back. In 2008, I met a woman who would become my wife, Serge Gasore, and we got married in 2010 here at Southern Hills. My wife comes from Congo. She came through IRC, which is an association that brings refugees here in the United States. She was in Burundi, where they lived in a refugee camp. Right now in Rwanda, there are so many kids who are desperate, and they need a person to go to when they have needs, and they don't have nobody right now. Turning back home and be with them is a call we feel like God gave us. As soon as we felt like we were called to serve the community in Rwanda, we started. We didn't want to wait. We provided health insurance to the kids. We provided clean water to the community. And even when we were in school, I was working part-time and my wife was working part-time. We started that children's home. And Right now we have 7 kids living there with a house mom. Kids we have right now are being taught scriptures, and they go to church, they participate in the choirs at church. And when you see the transformation that happened since they came to us, is very big, and we want to continue to grow bigger and reach out to many kids. We have a land that can fit about 16 more houses. We have 5 houses that are going to be built in the next month. We have a clinic that will take care of the community, of course, and those kids who will be living in the Hunter community of hope. I met Hunter in my sophomore class when Hunter came with Chase to speak to our class. The next time I saw him, he was in the newspaper. They were talking about how he was sick. And then after that, he got better, and life continued. But a few years again, I had news that he was sick. And every time I met the family, everybody was faithful and hope. I'll meet Chase and I'll say, Chase, how's the family? And Chase will be like, they're doing good, we are hoping that they'll get better. When I saw Hunter's mommy's post on Facebook, he was praying and hoping and being faithful. And that stayed in my mind, because I remember when things were wrong, and for me, I lost my faith and my hope. And every time they seemed to be hopeful and faithful, I would struggle with that. And they became people I looked up to and felt like they have a strong faith and hope. So that's how I felt like when we came up to make a decision to name the community. I thought Hunter would be the story that I need to share with those kids, along with my story and so many other kids' stories. Our mission is to love those kids who will be in Hunter community of hope, and give them hope and faith, feed them, give them a shelter in the name of Jesus.